what? So there's an old saying, out with the old and with the new.
Yeah.
But with Biden and his administration, it's out with the old, out with the new, and all of us is ending up empty.
That's right.
And the only promise he's been able to keep is making sure that all Americans have a dark winter.
Yep.
And now that dark winter is starting to turn into a dark future.
It sure enough is.
So, there was an ice storm that happened in Texas.
Okay.
I call it an Arctic freeze.
Okay.
Now, the last time, according to weather.gov, this type of weather occurred was in 1899.
Okay.
So you had Chuck Schumer to start going off on Texas, and he's saying that they're ignoring climate change. Yet this event happened in 1899.
1899. Okay.
So when it happened in 1899, my question to Chuck is, was that climate change?
Was it?
So since everybody want to place blame, let me just point out some things right quick. Okay. Now, Governor Abbott, he issued a disaster declaration on February the 12th.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That emergency order was granted by the Energy Department on February the 14th.
Right.
While Texas was in the midst of this ice storm. Now, according to this emergency order, the order instructed ERCOT to buy energy at a price no lower than $1,500 per megawatt. And according to the Dallas Business Journal, that price jumped to more than 6,000%.
Oh, my goodness.
Also, according to Biden's Department of Energy, it's the emergency order 202-21-1.
Okay.
ERCOT had been alerted that numerous generation units will be unable to operate at full capacity without violating federal air quality or others per limitation.
Okay.
So my question is, why didn't the acting energy secretary not waive the environmental restrictions to allow for maximal energy output?
During this time.
During this time, that's right. Also, ERCOT anticipated that this order may result in exceedance of emission, sulfur dioxide, etc.
Okay.
But the Energy Department came back and said, to minimize adverse environmental impacts, this order limits operation of dispatch units to the times and within the parameters. So my question is, why was the Energy Department trying to operate under normal circumstances when we was operating up under an ice storm and an event that Texas hadn't seen since 1899?
So you're trying to tell me that during this time of disaster, devastation, when people needed actual help, they didn't take and remove the restrictions?
They did not take and remove the restrictions. And I'm not letting ERCOT off the hook. But what I see is people playing politics here. And I don't like that. I don't like you playing politics.
That's right.
And if we're sitting on a wealth of coal and uranium, then why not have that as backup during times like this?
That's right.
Because people didn't have to die.
Well, so you have a lot of people, especially people like Chuck Schumer and people like him, that wants alternative resources, They want you to rely on solar and on the wind, But what happens when the sun don't shine and the wind don't blow? And according to Representative Louis Gohmert of Texas, he said that the coal plants was closed down. But if the coal plants were still open there in Texas, Texas would have had plenty of energy. So why do you want to shut down something that's dependable and reliable, and then take and uproot that and implement something that's unreliable, not dependable? They should have just had that as backup.
They should. Well, you know what? I heard Obama is the reason why a lot of those coal plants are shut down. But I think with this instance, we're going to have to use common sense.
Common sense. That's right. And if they have a problem with polluting the air, then stop flying your private plane.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Well, I totally agree with you. Biden suspended President Trump's executive order. You all take a look at this.
Go ahead all the way in the back,
Hi.
And then we'll come to you, sir. Go ahead.
Thanks, Jen. In an executive order that the president signed last week, he also suspended a Trump administration executive order that was particularly aimed at keeping foreign countries, specifically China, from interfering in the U.S. power grid. But he suspended that for 90 days in that executive order last week. Given what you said about China today, why did he do that, especially related to something so critical to our national security as the power grid?
I think the president's view on our relationship with China, I tried to do my best to convey to all of you. I'll have to check on that specific piece, and we'll circle back with you directly.
So
Always circling back. Go ahead.
So you mean to tell me why she was circling back, okay? The American people is like sitting ducks,
right?
Okay? And all of this because Biden, who I call the stroker, decided to stroke away Americans' protection, leaving Americans unprotected and vulnerable.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Because why would you get rid of your protections?
Yeah.
If he want to review it for 90 days.
Yeah.
But leave the protections in place. Don't have us riding dirty or vulnerable where anybody can attack or mess with our power grid. It does not make sense.
Wow.
But speaking of not making sense, a woman in Texas didn't think none of this made sense when it came to Biden. Take a look at this.
I'm asking you guys all to share this long and wide. I don't care. Let it reach the White House, the Black House, the Crack House. Let it reach somewhere, okay? We don't have food. The shelves are empty. We also have the water problem now, you guys. The water is contaminated because the pipes, the power went out and the pipes are frozen. And so now we have contaminated water. We have contaminated water. We don't have gas. For those that have left the comfort of their homes or the coldness, the freezing climax of their homes to sit in their cars to try to get a little bit warm. Now we don't have gas. There's a gas shortage. Why? Because trucks are not being allowed to come in here. And where is Joe Biden? Where is the president of the United States? And no, this ain't about politics, but you the president. You haven't even addressed it. Where is Kamala Harris? None of them have addressed that people are out here in Texas dying.
Well, see, this is what I'm talking about. Now, if she want to know where Joe Biden was, we do know that Joe was down there in Camp David playing video games. I'm quite sure that his dogs was warm.
Had plenty of heat.
Also, we know on February the 17th, he was doing a town hall with CNN and Anderson Cooper, sitting up there lying about the vaccine, like they didn't have no vaccines until he got in office. When he took a vaccine back in December.
He forgot about that.
He forgot about it. We do know that. But according to CBS on February the 19th, Biden was asked about would he visit the state and did he plan to visit? And he said that he wanted to wait until his presence won't be a burden or hinder on the disaster relief. So maybe he's already going to be prepared to go down there probably after this show has already been pre-recorded.
Or whenever the ice melts.
Okay, whatever. You know, Biden says also that America is back. And we say, yeah, America is back to being ripped off.
That's right.
It's back to being at the end of the line. Back to allowing illegal aliens to rip at the fabrics of America. Back to you all getting your kickbacks and your patty whack.
That's right. And it feels like America has been stabbed in the back.
That's right.
That's right. Back to the Jim Crow day.
We surely do feel like that. Yeah.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's